Welcome to the Roving Valleys. In this video, we're sharing everything you need to know before you go to Morocco so that you have an amazing trip.
We're Chris and Lydia, and we've recently travelled all over Morocco, from the historic imperial cities of Fez and Marrakech to the incredible blue city of Chefchaouen, from the spectacular landscapes of the Atlas Mountains and the Sahara Desert to the coastal cities of Essaouira and Rabat, and we've absolutely loved every step along the way. We've put together a full series of Morocco travel blogs, which you'll find linked in the description below.
Since returning home, we've received a ton of questions from you guys about accommodation, food, safety, money. So we've put together a top 10 list of those questions and we've answered them throughout this video, and we've also thrown in a few other bonus tips along the way.
Right, let's dive in.
We found that getting to Morocco was fairly easy. We flew Emirates from Dubai to Casablanca. It was code share with Royal Air Morocco.
Yeah, which is their national carrier. Royal Air Morocco also flies direct to Morocco from North America. We flew into Casablanca Airport, which is the main international airport for long-haul flights. And there's lots of connections throughout Morocco and throughout Europe. But there's also international airports in Marrakech, Fez and Agadir, so if you're planning to spend most of your time in one of those cities, it might be better to fly there directly. We didn't need a visa. For short-term stays of up to 90 days, you don't need a visa if you're from most Western countries, like Australia or New Zealand or the USA or Canada, Europe and UK. I think if you're from some African countries or Asia or Middle Eastern countries, you do need a visa and you have to apply in advance for that.
So as Morocco is such a big country, the best time to go varies depending on where you want to visit. For example, you wouldn't go to the Sahara in the middle of summer, which can get up to over 45 degrees Celsius in the middle of the day.
And you wouldn't go up into the mountains in the winter where it's snowing.
Unless you want to ski.
Yeah.
Because you can do that, which we didn't know until we got there.
And the coastal regions are nice all year round, but they can get pretty windy at times, which is good if you're there for a surf trip, I suppose.
But generally speaking, if you're going to visit a large part of the country and you want the best climate all round, the shoulder seasons are going to be your best bet.
That's good for exploring the cities as well as going up into the mountains and the deserts.
It's not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Morocco follows the Islamic calendar, so they celebrate Ramadan, which is a special time in the Muslim calendar, usually February, March time, where they fast from sunrise to sunset for a whole month.
You can still visit during this time, and we were actually there through some of Ramadan.
Yeah.
And it's actually a quieter time of year to visit.
So it's an interesting time if you want to go there for the cultural experience, but you also have to keep in mind that a lot of the businesses are only open for a limited time or closed completely. So you might find it a bit quiet at that time.
The markets were also closed during that time. If you're going for that true Moroccan experience, it may not be the best time to go if that's what you're looking for.
The official languages of Morocco are Arabic and Berber.
And French is also spoken as well.
It's like the unofficial language. So if you know a little bit of French, that will
come in very handy.
It will be. English is spoken mainly in the tourist areas, but you can't always count on it.
No.
And there's also a little bit of Spanish, especially up north. If you learn a few Arabic words, it will go a long way when you're in Morocco.
And one of the words that you'll say the most is shukran.
Shukran.
Which means thank you.
And you also should learn la shukran, which means no thank you.
It's very useful in the Medinas when you're not wanting to purchase something.
Yeah, all those pushy salesmen. Another word that you hear a lot and you should know is balak. Now, balak is actually a warning that you'll hear a lot in the Medinas. And if you hear it, jump out of the way as soon as you can, because it means watch out, there's a donkey coming through.
You don't want to get run over by a donkey.
No. The official currency of Morocco is the dirham, One Australian dollar will buy you about 620 dirham, while one US dollar or a euro will buy you about 10 dirham. It's a closed currency though, so you can't buy it outside the country. You have to withdraw the money from the ATMs or exchange currency once you get into the country.
So our tip around that would be to take some money out at the airport, just enough to get you to your hotel, and then you can take out the rest when you get into the city.
Or an even better tip is what we did. We organised an airport shuttle so that when we arrived, we were able to get to our hotel in Casablanca without having to withdraw any money from the airport, and we were able to withdraw it from an ATM when we got into Casablanca. The best exchange rate will be if you use an ATM. That's going to get you your best bang for your buck.
Cash is king in Morocco.
Cash is king. You won't be able to use your credit card very many places, maybe some high-end restaurants and hotels, but for everywhere else, they require cash.
You can get cash out in the main cities at the bank tellers or at the banks. The ATMs usually dispense larger notes. So one of the tips that we have is to try and break those larger notes down into smaller notes as soon as you possibly can. Your hotel might be able to do it, or through a local shop. The more lower denominations you have, the more beneficial it is for whether you need to go to the bathroom or you're paying a tip to someone or just some small purchases. They come in very handy.
And another tip that we have is to get your money out at ATMs in the big cities, because if you go to the rural areas or the desert, you may not find an ATM for a while, and even if you do, it might not have money. But even in the big cities, if you're trying to take out money on a weekend or on a public holiday, the ATMs run out of money pretty quickly sometimes, so it's best to be prepared. Take your money out when you can, preferably earlier in the week. Wi-Fi is common in most of the restaurants and hotels and cafes, but it can be a bit unreliable at times, particularly in the rural areas. So we found that using mobile data is a lot more reliable option.
And probably more secure as well. Well, definitely more secure as well.
There's two options as far as mobile data is concerned. You can either purchase a local SIM card or you can purchase an eSIM. There's 3 local telecommunication carriers, so you can purchase the SIM card from them, which is probably the cheapest option, but also the instructions are in French or Arabic, and it's not always easy to set up. Quite often we found that people were having to call customer service and they were having a lot of difficulty. We purchased an eSIM before we arrived in the country, had it all set up and ready to go, so when we touched down in Casablanca, we were already connected, so that was very easy. We used an eSIM company called Aerolo.
We'll link it in our description below so that you can click through and set it all up. It's very easy to use, and yeah, it was fantastic. We didn't know about it before we went to Morocco.
We had no problems there. We had mobile data all the time.
It was fantastic. We will be using it for our travels in the future. It was that easy to use.
Morocco offers all types of accommodation, from backpacker accommodation all the way through to luxury hotels. Our advice would be to go and stay in the old part of town, the old Medinas.
Our favourite was to stay in the riads. They're a boutique type of accommodation and they're all very eclectic and very different. They all are beautiful in their own way and they're often run by families.
They're the traditional houses of the Medina, and a lot of them have been converted into boutique hotels. Traditionally, they have windows that open to the inside of the building, whereas there's not many windows on the outside, and all the bedrooms are on the upper levels looking down upon a common courtyard.
There can be a pool in there, there can be
all the tile work and mosaics,
tiles,
fountains. It's just beautiful.
And on the outside of a lot of these riads, you'll just see a beautiful door, but not much else. You won't know what's sitting behind that door, and it's not till you walk through that you're like, wow, it's just this hidden treasure.
They often have a rooftop where you can sit and chill out and relax while the hustle and bustle of the Medina, it goes on outside the walls of the building. And we also stayed in lots of other unique places in Morocco as well. We stayed in a desert camp in the Sahara. We also stayed in an old Casbah at Eight Ben Hadu, which was a real experience.
Very unique. It's incredible.
So to really get that cultural immersion and that cultural experience, we highly recommend that you at least a few nights stay in some of these traditional accommodations. Morocco is a Muslim country, and so the dress code is much more conservative than it is in Western countries.
And while you don't need to cover yourself from head to toe, it's respectful to cover your shoulders and your knees.
In the more touristy areas, like in Marrakech, the locals are a lot more used to tourists and a lot more tolerant of their ways, and so you can get away with wearing shorts on those really hot days.
I felt a lot more comfortable, however, always wearing clothing that covered my shoulders and covered my knees, because it just made me feel a lot more comfortable knowing that they were comfortable as well.
It's all about respecting the local tradition. Yeah. If you're heading to the beach, you can wear swimwear, that's okay, but outside of that, I would recommend that you dress more modestly than you would back home if you're from the Western country. And don't forget to bring your hat and sunglasses because the sun is out a lot.
Sun cream as well.
Oh yes, sun cream. And also bring something warm if you're going to the desert, because it might be really hot during the day, but it can cool down and be quite chilly at night time.
Absolutely. Moroccan food is delicious, from incredible tagines to
couscous
and
pastilla
and
harissa, rafissa.
Lots of different flavours and aromatics and spices. It's all very clean and healthy food. It's a lot more affordable outside the touristy areas, but even in the touristy areas, it's a lot more affordable than it is here in Australia.
It is, and you have to have a tagine. Well, you can't not have a tagine because they're everywhere. A tagine, if you don't know, it's a slow-cooked dish inside a cone-shaped clay pot. There's all sorts of meats. There's vegetarian ones, but you can also get beef, lamb, chicken, rabbit, even camel tagines. So
meatballs. They come up with all different varieties.
And they're everywhere, and you have them for lunch or for dinner.
So I like the chicken and lemon and turmeric. They were my favourite flavor. My favourite.
And they're also gluten-free, and Lydia
needs
to eat gluten-free food. But there's so many other. My favourite was the pastilla. Pastilla, it's like a puff pastry with chicken and almonds and cinnamon inside, and they dust the top with sugar and more cinnamon. I love cinnamon, so it was beautiful. When it comes to drinking, tap water is not recommended. You should always drink the bottled water. But one thing that you will drink every day, probably multiple times a day,
is Moroccan mint tea.
You got it.
Which is delicious, by the way. Sometimes it's served with sugar and sometimes it's served without, and depending on your taste will depend on how you prefer it. Most tend to prefer it with sugar, I think.
Yeah, and it's very ceremonial the way it's poured. The teapot is held high above the glass. It's an experience. It's for every meal, it's for every occasion. You just have it all the time. It's
Another
beautiful.
thing I wanted to talk about was coffee, because one concern I had before leaving Australia was whether I was going to be able to get a good coffee. But we were pleasantly surprised at the quality of coffee in Morocco.
Our favourite was a little milky coffee, a nus they called it. It was lovely.
Every day we had a nus and a date, and it was a great way to start the day.
You like the orange juice.
Oh my goodness, the orange juice. Don't get me started. You have to have an orange juice, an authentic orange juice in Morocco. You'll never taste anything like it. It's incredible.
I don't know what it is about the fresh oranges in Morocco. They're just much more flavourful than anything I've tasted anywhere else.
Yeah, yum. I miss the orange juice. I'd love one now.
And also, being a Muslim country, people don't drink alcohol as a rule, but they're quite tolerant of Westerners coming and having a bottle of wine in a restaurant or maybe in your accommodation. In fact, Morocco has world-class wineries.
They also sell a lot of French wines, so you've got a good variety of choices when it comes to wines, and we did enjoy a glass or two up on top of the roof at one of our riads, which was really lovely. Nice place to just relax and unwind after a busy day of exploring. Haggling is a big part of the Moroccan culture. It's a bit of a game kind of thing, and it's expected that you haggle.
Yeah, a lot of people do find it uncomfortable, have some anxiety over the haggling side of things, but it's everywhere. You can't escape from it. If you're going to shop in the Medinas, in the souks, you're going to have to haggle. My advice is just have fun with it. Don't worry about offending anybody. It's all part of the culture. And everybody, in the end, once you've agreed on a price, everybody's friends.
Our advice would be to go in at about a third of the price, and then you hope to meet somewhere in the middle.
You probably end up paying too much anyway compared to what a local would pay, but you walk away, you've had a cultural experience, and it's all good fun.
And if you get a good deal, you get called a Berber woman, because apparently Berber women are the best negotiators.
Are they?
Yes, apparently so.
Did you get called?
I did once. I don't know if I actually did get a good deal or not, but made me feel good. We found Morocco to be a very safe country. At no time did we feel unsafe.
No, we never felt threatened in any way. You will get petty crime like pickpocketing in the main squares of the big cities, just like you would in any big city. So you just have to take the same precautions as you would anywhere else. Keep your wits about you, be aware, keep an eye on your belongings, and you'll be fine. We never had any problems at all. One thing to be aware of, that if you do take photos of street performers or people in general, you may be asked for a tip. This is how they make their living. They don't make a whole lot of money. So if you refuse to pay your tip, then you will get harassed and you probably won't get any sympathy from anybody.
In Fez and Marrakech, we've heard of hustlers demanding a fee for guiding you through the maze-like Medinas.
Yeah, your unofficial tour guides who offer to show you directions and then demand a fee for it. It's a common scam. We didn't actually come across it ourselves, but we've heard of it.
I think our tip around that is, if you are lost and you're not really sure where to go next, maybe go into a local shop and ask them for directions. If you're planning to buy something from them anyway, just say, look, what's the best way to get out of the Medina? Could you give me some directions? And they are more than happy to help.
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to don't look like you're a lost tourist.
Because you're a sitting duck, basically.
Yeah. So now for some bonus tips. And the very first one is the biggest asset in Morocco, and that's the people of Morocco.
Moroccans are a very proud nation. They love their country and they love sharing it with others.
They do. They love having tourists there, which is very refreshing compared to a lot of other countries that we've been to.
They're welcoming you, they're welcoming us, and they're welcoming our friends. And yeah, we want to go back because they made us have such a great experience.
Their sense of community and family, it's inspiring. You know, I really, really love the Moroccan people. Another tip is don't expect to go inside the mosques in Morocco. All but 2 of them are for Muslims only. One of the exceptions is the Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca. And if you only do one thing in Casablanca, you've got to go there.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. It's a fantastic place. So well worth the visit there. You'll want to make sure that your phone and your camera are charged. So you'll need to have European plug to plug into the power points there. So European plugs have the 2 prongs.
And you want maybe a power bank as well to charge up your phones if you run out of battery.
And there's so many things to take photographs of, but a lot of Moroccan people don't like being photographed. So if you're taking photographs of people, please ask them before you take their photograph. They may let you, they may not. They may ask you for a tip, but please respect their wishes. Also, if you want to bring a drone into the country, you're not allowed to bring a drone in. They will confiscate it at the airport and you'll lose your drone.
A top tip before getting into a taxi is to always settle on a price beforehand.
That's right. You can haggle for a taxi, but always make sure that you settle on that price and that you confirm that the price is for your whole party and not per person.
Because you can get caught out with this.
Yes. We hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons and ring that little bell so that you don't miss out on our next adventure.
And if you've been to Morocco, we'd love if you could leave your top tip in the comment section below. But for now, it's goodbye, and we hope you come roving with us again soon.
Bye for now.